Metal Nation Radio. United we rock.
We're here with Resign, first responder. If you guys don't mind, just kind of go around, say hello, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hey, I'm Tyler Hatter, I'm vocals.
I'm Josh, I play guitar.
I'm Jordan, I also play guitar.
I'm Jesse, I play drums.
And I'm Zach, I play bass.
Awesome. Now, my first and honestly one of the most important questions for me, because since I've discovered your band, I've been wondering, what the hell does Resign First Responder mean? Where did that come from? And just tell me the story.
We actually very rarely get asked that.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's a weird name.
It is out there, but it's great, and it's something that it will stick in your head. Yeah. So anyway, please continue.
I wouldn't see anyone else taking the name. So that's always good.
Yeah, we wanted something original.
Mm-hmm. We had we used to be, I guess we were kind of our own kind of band practicing together for like a good couple years.
Nameless.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we used to call Losing the Fight Within. It used to be called While She Screams.
Okay.
It used to be called Burning Daylight. And the one that stuck probably the most was Motives.
Motives, yeah, we had that for a while.
I think even on the studio files that that are on Tremors, I'm pretty sure Justin has them all named Motives.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
so we even had the name after recording.
Yeah,
I like that name too.
We found a band that was already named Motives, and they were on tour with Linkin Park and stuff. So
oh no,
we had to change that.
Okay.
But the reason we chose Resign First Responders is actually because of your work, man. Remember how we kind of stumbled upon that?
Yeah, I'm an iOS and web developer. So it's actually like a command to dismiss the keyboard.
It's pretty intricate stuff.
You say it like that, it's kind of lame, but it could also, there's other sort of meetings, it could be like...
How you interpret it.
Resign the first person who's going to come to your rescue almost, you don't want to call it the first person who comes to mind.
Or your first love.
Yeah, exactly.
Or your first refusing medical help.
Yeah. Lots of interpretations.
I'm wondering if the techies out there that have,
we're hoping a couple of them get a few chuckles.
Yeah, it's like an insider kind of joke.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I went to WWDC, which was the Apple conference, and told them a couple, I'm in a band called Resign First Responder. They're they're just
Is it a band of computer heads?
Exactly. I play Warcraft, so.
So now, how does the song get created for you guys? Walk me
That's
through.
an intricate one.
Yeah.
Usually Josh or Jesse usually come up with a riff, then they'll bring it to practice.
Yeah, me and Josh usually bounce riffs off each other, and then we'll get something, and then one of us will be like, oh, what if we do it a little bit different this way, and then just kind of add on oh, let's change the time signature for this, and just kind of grows like that.
Yeah.
Usually there's a song, there's one riff that oh, that's really different, that's something that we like, and then
build
kind
off
of
either end of that.
around that. And usually it's the riff that we started with is probably one of the worst riffs in the song.
Yeah, exactly. Josh and Jesse have been jamming together for how long, man? 12 years now?
Oh wow,
man, long time.
Forever.
Since junior high.
So they have really good chemistry for writing
6 or
stuff.
7.
What are you, 24?
20.
you finish each other's sentences and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty normal.
They're basically married.
So yeah, they have great chemistry, and then they just bring what they got, and then we all add our own little flair.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So it then becomes a whole band thing.
A group effort, yeah. Zach has his little death metal influences, and I have my melodic metalcore influences, and it just all works really well with their passion. It works really well.
Okay. Well, now that we're talking about the I word, the influences, give me some influences.
The I word. My biggest influence is definitely Misery Signals or Under Oath.
Okay.
Yeah, we all really love Under Oath.
Yeah.
Under Oath is probably one of our biggest band influences for sure.
I have to confess, I don't know Under Oath at all.
Yeah? No? You should definitely check them out. They're definitely worth looking up, man.
I don't know if they're really metal. They're
metalcore.
You know what? That whole genre thing.
Yeah, freak genres.
It confuses me. It baffles me.
They're metal, man. They're metal.
For a little while, I was asking bands, if you had a new listener, a virgin listener, come up and say, "Oh my God, you're in a band. What the hell do you sound like?" And it went from looking for almost some genre education myself to then becoming a loaded question because it was interesting to hear everybody's opinions and
That's amazing.
You know, it comes down to metal.
Yeah, it's only metal that really has that problem with the genres, eh?
It really is.
Yeah.
It's because there's so many subgenres. Like me, I'd say out of the five of us, I'm definitely the most
Picky.
well versed in the subgenres
Okay.
definitions, just because of I listen to so much metal. I personally would label us as progressive metalcore, along the vein of Protest the Hero and Between the Buried and Me.
Okay, nice.
Those are definitely two of my
Two more
biggest
influences.
influences.
Probably two favorites.
Blake
So we'd say-
Richardson is amazing.
Between the Buried and Me, Protest the Hero, Misery Signals, Under Oath. Contortionist is a pretty big one as well, would you say?
I come from a very contemporary background as well.
Okay.
So like, I enjoy listening to death metal the most, but
Exactly, like keys and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Okay.
But I come from a very contemporary playing background as well. So
Oh, okay. So much more than metal.
right, exactly.
Okay. Are you bringing any of that?
Definitely, because it's how I learned. Like when I first started actually playing in church bands. And
Me
then,
too.
So yeah.
Wow.
I'm bringing definitely like that is my foundation. So I'm definitely taking many elements of that into my playing when I write a bass line for the band.
Nice. So Tremors was April 14.
Yes.
That was the first release for the band.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Tell me about the. I guess you went to Compact Audio.
Compact Audio, Justin
Yeah.
Felix.
Tell me about your experience. Tell me how was the recording?
It was
it-
crazy.
was
It was
it,
fun.
Well, he's great. Like he keeps it fun and like knows how to like get everything sounding crisp and
Yeah.
It was pretty
Keeps beer
efficient.
in the fridge.
Yeah,
that you
that's always
I
good.
think in retrospect, we could have and should have been a little more prepared.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting click tracks to be such a big important thing.
yeah.
So it
So
kind
we
of
learned a lot, but like,
sucked like spending half the drumming time like trying to figure out click tracks and stuff, especially when you got like all these weird time signatures. You
Yeah,
get
and
figure it out.
slight changes in tempo and whatnot.
So you're talking about more about programming the click track as opposed to actually playing to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We had to basically make up the click tracks while we
all
were
6
there.
click tracks
Yeah.
in the studio, paying for the time to make the click tracks. But still,
So
lesson we
we know
learned.
not to do that next time.
so when we were writing that, we were writing very like it was very just like raw and whatever we kind of thought and where we thought songs would go. We weren't like
Tempo would be slightly different every time we practice it.
yeah, a lot more. Now we're writing a lot more on like Guitar Pro and like
Yeah,
we'll
exactly.
have all our clicks and
Okay,
stuff. So
right on.
like it's gonna be should be
Next
So now
album, we should
is
hear something.
Tremors? Does that consist of essentially songs you guys have been playing forever?
It
couple of
consists
them.
of
Two of them.
a lot of the riffs in Tremors are actually, actually a lot of songs have riffs that have been existent for years and years.
yeah. We reused stuff from like back when we were jamming in like high school and
Okay.
Just taking the best parts of that.
but yeah, like usually like I would say like one song I've gotten used to your haunting is actually like 2 songs kind of
older
I
stuff.
think it was like 3.
all like it's not like part 1 part 2 but like we combined riffs from 2 songs and
Okay.
made that one and
No, that's one of the most popular songs off the record. I think people have said that. Yeah.
Nice. You released a cassette.
Yeah. Totally.
Tell me about that. What was the motivation behind that?
I
it's-
kind of
it's-
just did it without asking anyone. I was just like, hey, I'm making cassettes.
And then we were all like, awesome.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know a lot of people that really go for that retro
Like
type.
vinyl and cassettes, man.
Yeah.
I love
They're making a
cassettes
comeback.
myself, but are they really? Like,
Yeah. Well,
can you actually go aside from a thrift store and buy a cassette player?
See that?
I think you can.
We've been giving them away for free, basically, if someone has like
I saw that on your
Walkman or
Facebook.
something.
Show us a picture. That's,
Yeah,
That's a great
right?
idea.
Yeah,
That's a
man.
great idea.
Because
I really respect Josh for that.
they are making a comeback, but they're not quite where like vinyl is, where people are
Yeah.
collectors.
Yeah.
More so, people will pick them up because they just want to like support a band and just don't have a lot of money or whatever.
Exactly, and that's why it's smart.
A few of my friends have picked up the cassette simply because of the fact that we're one of the few bands in Halifax that have a cassette.
Yeah. It's
Like for that simple fact.
kind of timeless in its own respect.
Yeah.
So.
There's actually Greg Connors he's the vocalist for Small Talk.
Okay.
He made them all and did the whole thing.
Nice. So it's almost been a year now. How's the reception?
Pretty.
We have people
It's better
singing.
than we expected, I
Yeah,
guess.
definitely. There's people singing along at shows. That really makes me happy.
Nice.
Yeah,
That
that's-
always feels good.
Oh my God, never thought. Yeah,
We met
the
a lot
feeling.
of cool
Wow,
people, and yeah, I mean,
met a lot of people
like,
too, man.
A lot
Yeah.
of other bands, like, we're friends with, a lot of people in other bands
Yeah,
now,
like-
too, because of this.
Yeah, we have a lot of connections.
Band Bukaki from Montreal. I talk to Hugo, the bassist, quite often now. Like,
Nice.
share metal. It's awesome. One of the best parts of it for sure.
That's awesome.
yeah, Matt Paré from Bukaki was actually the pretty much the only reason we could book this tour, because he gave me like this huge list of promoters.
Sweet.
Yeah. So like, yeah, man, the connections and the friends. It's awesome.
One of the things that I like to sort of talk about with the bands, at least the bands around here specifically, is our scene here in Atlantic Canada. I mean, part of my motivation on Metal Nation Radio is to not exploit, but promote this scene as much as I
Yeah.
possibly can.
Yeah.
So, I do try to play as much of the local stuff as possible. In my opinion, I think one of the biggest impediments for bands like yourself I didn't do that on purpose. Is sort of the lack of promotion from around here. I mean, you might be able to make a following around here, but to expand that.
So true.
Tell me about your thoughts on the scene and your limitations, or...
In my opinion, the scene around here is very much alive. It's not necessarily healthy. Like it's
That's cool. That's kind of cool the way you put that.
it's definitely alive. Like there's regular shows at Gus's, but there's unless you get a huge band like
Sunrise?
last month or back in November, Cryptopsy came.
Yep.
That was the only really real decent turnout to any metal show that I've been to in a long time. So it's you will have a turnout at every single show that is played, but there's going to be a lot of room on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that experience myself, and then you're also waiting until everybody shows up, which, postpones things and delays things.
I find a big difference in how, like, if you kind of go past the Maritimes, like, a lot of the promoters and stuff, they're used
Not
to
in
big
bands.
acts, and they're used to big, like, so, like, people are a lot more going just for the music as opposed to, like, support their friends kind of
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which can be a good thing, but then at the same time, if like a few local bands, I think it would almost be harder to be a local band out like in Ontario and Quebec and stuff, as opposed to in the Maritimes, because people will come out for bands because they don't get very many kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, okay, that's a really good point. And also, like, one thing we started off as, like, we don't really care about people on the floor. We just want to make the 2, the 3, the 1 person that is on the floor, like, move around and dance and feel it.
Yeah.
That was
Like
our initial goal from the very beginning. It wasn't about how many people were there, really.
If 100 people show up, cool. If 1 person shows up, they're going to get a hell of a show.
Yeah, exactly. That was
Awesome.
our initial goal.
I think we almost played to 1 person at Gus's, but there was, I think, he brought like 3 or 4 other people with him.
Yeah, man, exactly.
But there's certainly, a decent amount of shows that go on here where the crowd is mostly the other musicians that are playing that night.
Yeah.
Or, you're right, they're friends who are
I
coming
think
to
that's
support
exactly
them.
what it is.
being in a metal band is not for like the faint of heart who are very sensitive about
Yeah, it's true.
their music and
Yep.
their craft and stuff, because some people just won't be that into it too. Like they just, it'll be like, it's okay. But like for something that you take and you like pour yourself into it, it can be very defeating to feel that, like hear that, like, but like you just need to accept that and know that's the way it is. Like,
I mean, me personally, I just have fun on stage. If people don't like it, well, cool. But I have fun playing it.
Yeah.
Just like another jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think covers are a good way for people that are there just for, I don't know, maybe if they don't necessarily know your music, or if they're there for another band. If they know the cover, it's a lot easier to run around and jump around.
Yeah, they can just get into it,
a lot.
respect your talent a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little more
That's a good
accessible
point,
that
Jordan,
way. Yep, for sure. Well, it definitely fits. All right, so the thing that kind of brought us together in the first place here tonight, the tour.
Yeah,
Tell us about the tour.
pretty much over the holidays, I just sent out a lot of emails and messages and stuff, and managed to book a few things.
Tell them what you learned about promoters.
What?
What you learned about promoters, the whole experience.
Oh,
Please. That could be valuable to all of the indie bands
Yeah,
that are
exactly.
listening right now.
I suppose, like, if you, I don't even know. Everybody's different. Like, some promoters will be like, oh yeah, you guys are really cool.
Some promoters are promoters, and some
It'd
promoters
be-
are in bands, though. You know what I mean? Like the difference.
Yeah.
I find that people in the Maritimes, a lot of bands are used to kind of being their own promoters.
Yeah.
But the further west you go, usually bands are used to being bands, and that's
Having a
Promoters
pump
are promoters.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, usually there's in one location, there's at least one guy who might, want to book something with you. I feel like if we had a lot more notice, then we would. It would have been a lot easier and a lot.
So what does the future hold aside from this tour? What do we have to look forward to? What are you guys thinking about?
I'm working on some new stuff. I'm pretty excited about.
I'm extremely excited for. It has like a more mature. I don't want to say more mature sound. That's too classic.
It's developed.
Yeah, it's definitely developed. It's not as like, okay, we're gonna go and recording it and write the lyrical melodies at the time of recording.
We're recording. Yeah, we're also like writing with two guitars in mind
And
too. So
two
that
guitars is a new
helps.
thing for Resign.
I've joined the band since Tremors has been recorded.
Okay.
Jordan used to be bass. Now he's second
Jordan used
guitar.
to be bass, and he was new. I was such a. I've been friends with Jesse since grade 6, something like that.
So you guys do go way back.
Yeah, we really do go way back. I met Josh through Jesse, and then Tyler and Jordan through the band. But I was very much a supporter of the band even before I was a member. Like, I hadn't missed a show.
Sure, Zach was our pit master. We used to call
I
him.
really was. Yeah, I'd start all the mosh pits and whatnot. Be the hype man in the crowd.